squeeze the lemon, and I don't know if all of y'all drinking here, but I may have had a Corona or a margarita or two. And, and if we were all having drinks right now, we only had one lime left, one lemon. We would pass that lemon and lime around and squeeze it to get that juice out of it continuously over and over and over and over again. And what we don't need a new system, we don't need a new CRM, we don't need a new anything. We need to do more with what we got. And so this year it was squeeze the lemon. And so let me go into a couple of things that I think that I had to go back and reflect 16 years ago where my mindset was. And my mindset was, I was broke, I don't want to go back to selling cars. By the way, I tell people this, I was proud to become a real estate broker because I felt like I moved up in life. I went from a used car salesman to a real estate agent. Right? Right? And we are. And lawyers too. Sorry, John Cummings, right? We're all there together. Car salesmen, attorneys, and real estate agents are kind of all right there at the bottom of the barrel, right? But I felt like I moved up in life when I went from the car business into real estate. And it showed up. It showed up in how I presented myself. I was proud of what I did. I think so many people get in this industry waiting for something better to come along in life because they're not sure what they want to be when they grow up. So they say, you know, I'm gonna get a real estate license, take a shot. But they're not fully committed. And I was so committed to not going back to the car business that I was willing to do all the goofy stuff. That's pretty important. All the goofy stuff that other people weren't willing to do. You see this name badge right here? I quit counting, but at one point I had added up $300,000 in commission checks because people asked me about my name badge and how was the real estate market. This is the cheapest form of advertisement that all of you in this room have, and a lot of you don't use it. This is the cheapest billboard. You can go get one on the interstate for $5,000, $7,000, $8,000 a month. Trust me, I've looked into it. Right? And at the end of the day, you are your cheapest form of advertisement. And if you don't have some type of conversation starter attached to you, for the vendors back there, and for everybody that's in any business, shame on you. Because let me ask you this, by show of hands, who in here has a specific hairstylist that they use? By show of hands. All right, hold your hands up. Who in here woke up this morning and said, you know what, I want to send my hairstylist a lead, a referral? Take your hands down. Nobody did. Guys, people aren't thinking about you. They're not thinking about sending you leads, and you have to stay front of mind. And we forget that. We think, oh, I do a few social media reels, and I'm Brian Bober, and I dance well. He's gonna hear it, right?
We love Brian's reels.
We did, right? And at the end of the day, it never shuts off if you really want to make this a career. I would go to events. I'd go uptown to Live After Five. Anybody remember Live After Five? Yeah. The Wachovia Atrium or at the what's this, Epicenter, right? And I'd go uptown and I would have my Elrod real estate shirt on because we rebranded in 2017 to High Performance. But I would have on my Elrod shirt. I have a name badge on. My friends would be like, "Hey, you're off work. Take your name badge off." And I'm like, "No, I'm not off work. I'm on work." Right? It never came off. When I go to the gym, you know, if you guys are going to the gym and you're not wearing some type of something that says, ask me about real estate, I don't have, you know, that's just gonna be tough to make it in the market we're headed towards. I think things are gonna get tougher, if we're being honest. And it's, what goes up will come down. The last time the market crashed was 08, 09. Things have been going up for 17 years now. We have a correction coming. Being in the game of real estate and letting everyone know this is what I do, this is who I am, and I'm proud to be a real estate broker. I'm proud to prevent homelessness. If you're not proud, then you shouldn't stay in the industry. And I don't mean that in a bad way. But to me, so I put down here number one for 2026 for us. We're doubling down on lead generation activities. Don't be a secret agent. Lynn Davis is sitting in here, and I'm glad she's sitting in here because y'all still write y'all still have the envelopes and you write put the check in the envelope and write the agent's name and the address, the street address? Okay. So Lynn will remember this. So when I first came to Market Center, I would write Elrod 0014, and then I'd write the address at the closing. I'd stick the check in there and I'd stick it in the box. And one day she comes up to me after writing Elrod 0014 like 20 times. She says, "Why do you write 0014? And I said, because I'm twice as good as 007. I'm not a secret agent. And she's like, really? And I'm like, yeah, I'm twice as good as 007. So don't be a secret agent. Nobody in here should be 007. James Bond. Go out there and be proud of what you do. You should be. This is a fantastic, amazing industry that changed my life. And it can change yours. So name badges, real estate gear. We got into that. Can we move on to number 2?
Let's do it.
I think you're gonna like this one.
Okay.
And I know Brenda B's gonna like this one. Where I made the mistake, I would be further along right now had I not thought I knew everything about every damn thing, right? And waited 2 years till 2012 to really engage and plug into this market center. If you're not plugging into this market center or some type of training, you're missing the boat. You're not that good. Nobody is. People tell me that on the golf course all the time. Ask John Clemens. He's like, why are you getting mad? You're not even that good. Right? But plug into the training in the market center. Learn as much as you can from all the panels and training. I tell our agents often, and I learned it from Mike Ferry, who is Tom Ferry's dad, and Jeff Glover turned me on to him earlier. He's like the OG of all OGs when it comes to training and coaching. And Mike Ferry said something that I'll never forget. He said, ignorance equals fear and knowledge equals confidence. Would you go to a surgeon who's not confident? No. Would you go to a surgeon that says, maybe I can get this done, I'm really not sure? Right? Ignorance equals fear. That's a writer down. We have a lot of writer downers here. Ignorance equals fear, knowledge equals confidence. The more knowledgeable you become about a subject, the more it exudes you, the more you get comfortable with it, the more you've heard all the objections, the more just plugging in. So I would say number 2, squeezing the limit in 2026, you gotta plug in. Plug in more than you ever have. Things are changing so fast in this business. Now there's still the fundamentals. Gary Keller and I've talked about the fundamentals. There's still the plans, the prospecting, the lead follow-up, the appointments, the negotiations, and script practice. That never goes away. AI is 5 to 10 years away from replacing any type of people. So you guys practicing that plans, the prospecting, the lead follow-up, the appointments and negotiations, and script practice, that's the piece that's not going to change. Now, is AI changing some stuff? Yeah, there's some, better lead generation versus SEO, there's GEO, we can talk about that. But to me, just plug in, just get educated. It'll exude you. They're just like, man, I really want to do business with this person. They know their stuff. I didn't know my stuff. I had no idea. I tell people all the time, I got a PhD in DUMB when it comes to real estate. I've done every dumbass thing you can possibly do. I've spent money every dumb way you can. And at the end of the day, plugging in and getting that knowledge and just continuing to get that knowledge. My dad used to say growing up, he says, if you're paid for more than you do, one day you'll be paid for more than you do. Right? Did I say that right to me? I didn't. Let me say that again. If you do more than you're paid to do, then one day you'll be paid for more than you do. Got it. Nailed it second. That's why I got my scripts right here, by the way. Number 3, expense management, personally and professionally. Now, you guys are probably going to gasp when I say this. I would challenge everyone when they leave here, go cancel your credit cards. Me will tell you, we do an exercise where we'll cancel all of our credit cards. And the reason we do that is the vendor has to reach back out to us and ask if we want that subscription back. You'll be surprised how much frivolous money you're spending, not only in your personal life, but your professional life. And maybe some of you are, but I know we were. And so we've really been looking at expenses. Our expenses used to be 120 grand a month. Now they're 60 grand a month. So everybody can work on their expenses, right? And so to me, I wrote, go through your expenses. And what's not serving you? Like, I don't have a Netflix subscription, guys. I don't have a Hulu subscription because Netflix isn't paying me. Angry Birds isn't paying me. Some, I don't know what Halo they're on now. Halo 14 on PlayStation or whatever, Xbox isn't paying me. So I had to cut out all the stuff that I enjoy playing video games, but I played video games probably 16 years because it's not serving me and making me money. There's probably some things in all of our lives that are taking away from our ultimate goal of whatever that may be, right? And let's be honest, we live in the most distracted time in society. And so to me, expense management is key to squeezing the limit in 2026, and it's setting you up for 2027 and some possible turbulence that's coming. Number 4, this is one of the things that's our biggest area of opportunity as a team. Follow-up system. we are horrible at follow-up. And I know some of my team's sitting in here, but we are horrible at follow-up, and it's my fault, it's not their fault. It starts with the leader, it starts with the team owner, and we can do a better job of following up. We had 2,918 inbound phone calls into our organization last year. That's 250 a month, inbound. We put 177 families under contract. There's a big area of opportunities there for follow-up. So we're gonna be going to the 3 by 3 by 3 by 3, which is 3 emails, 3 phone calls, 3 texts, and a 3-day period, one a day. So that's a big area of opportunity for us is follow-up. We're also gonna use AI a little bit. We're really going deep into AI on helping us, not with the phone calls, but with everything else, systematizing the emails and the text and even some of the video introductions when they come to the site. Hey Teresa, this is Thomas, want to put a face with a name, even though it's not actually me. It's gonna be, I think we're using, is it NextGen or HN or something like that? So, follow-up is a big opportunity for us. And number 5, I wrote know the market of the moment. When I say that, right now, I'm watching the 10-year treasury like hawk. 10-year treasury really determines everything for us in real estate. For those that don't know, it's what the US government uses. It's the longest term of any type of monetary policy, and it goes out for 10 years. They have a 5-year, they have a 1 year, but 10 years because they're taking the 10-year Fed and adding 1 to 2 points, the banks are, and that's your current interest rate today. Like this morning, the 10-year treasury is about 4.18, 4.17. If you add 2 points to that, that puts you about 6.18. I don't wanna see that get below 4, into the 3s. I even have it as an app on my phone. As soon as that 10-year treasury goes below 4, we're gonna have a ramp up. We're gonna have just a massive influx of buyers and sellers that are gonna hit the market. My prediction, and I don't really get into predictions, but May the 15th, Jerome Powell's last day is May the 15th. May the 16th, they're gonna put another person in office for the Federal Reserve. And I have a feeling that the rates are gonna drop sometime this summer, and we're gonna have a run, probably some more inflation, which is coming. But as my grandpa would say, you gotta make hay while the sun is shining, and right now the sun is shining, and so we're gonna make hay. So know the market, watch interest rates, be a student of the market, use your MLS Fast Stats religiously. We use our MLS Fast Stats almost every day. If you're not using Fast Stats, you're missing a big piece of business from letting the numbers do the heavy lifting in the Fast Stats. What I mean by that is what is today's date in real estate? Does anybody know other than people that are on my team? What is today's date in real estate? Yeah. Thank you for that. Yeah, I mean, it's about 60 to 70 days on market. Now, I know some places are hotter, right? I know if you're in Shelby, it's gonna be a different days on market than if you're in Myers Park, right? But at the end of the day, it's knowing those days and being able to articulate that to buyers and sellers that you're working with, that we're not really, it's not February the 10th, it's May the 10th. Because if it's 60 to 70 days, if your average price, and then another 30 to 45 days, you're adding about 100 days to today's date. And so in knowing the market at the moment, knowing where we're at is important. Most people think they've got all spring to get their house on the market, but they don't. They're already in May. And that's really important to constantly let the consumer know that. They don't do this every day. We do this every day. We just think everybody's supposed to know it takes 100 days to close a house, right? If it's average price. And then the last one, number 6. You know, I'm getting older and I don't like to run as hard as I used to. So for us, we're doubling our price point in 2026. We're working smarter, not harder. What we're doing is we're really just focusing on higher price points. We just put our highest price point home under contract. We put 2 under contract in the last 3 weeks. One was for $5.3 million, and one was for $2 million on Saturday. Was listed for about 2 hours. And so we're getting our price point up in 2026 because we know listings make babies. We know $5 million listings generate $5 million clients, right? Open houses, all of that. You know, I always say that, and we focus heavily on listings. We're about 70% listing focused, 30% buyer focused. I love buyers. Because if we didn't have buyers, we couldn't sell our listings. But for me, I know that I can get 6 paychecks from one listing, because the seller sells, the seller buys, the seller refers a friend, we get open house leads, we get sign calls, and we get internet leads. And when I work with a buyer, I've got 2 chances to get a paycheck, which is the buyer buys and the buyer refers a friend. And so we focus on and we're focusing on higher price points this year. We're even working on a high performance Lux edition, because I just rather sell less houses and do more volume.
There's a lot of luxury around here.
Yeah, there is. And if you don't have anything, because you're probably sitting there thinking, well, Thomas, I don't have a listing, I don't have a buyer, use mine. Anybody in this room, you may wanna write it down, have an email, so we have paper trail, so we're not getting in trouble with Sabra or the commission. Guys, you can use our inventory. That's what I did when I first got here. I used to tell people I sold 1,200 homes with my market center. Right? 2010, you know, that's what I told them. So use each other. That's what we're here for. Nobody's gonna do this alone. This is gonna be a team effort and a firm effort and a market center effort. So those are the 6 things for us in particular in squeezing the lemon in 2020.